Hello, everybody. Welcome to the third episode of my show. Today, we're going to be reviewing a demo of Triple N versus Chess Club on CP Granary. I know we did a Granary yesterday for episode number 2, but I have this whole thing prepared for Badlands tomorrow and how you win mid fights and stuff like that, and I wanted to save it for tomorrow. So we're just gonna wing it again today and just do this Granary review. This match was again another close match on Granary, and while I'm doing Granary, might as well just keep going with it and get them all hammered out. So one thing I want to mention is I'm kind of sick right now, so if I sound really stuffy, it's just because today's been a sucky day. I woke up, well, I didn't get any sleep last night, and I woke up really early this morning. I drove an hour out to the west side of LA to go to this angel investor meeting, and which is really interesting actually. There was a streaming company there, and they plan on starting themselves up and streaming games, and it was really interesting to be there and sort of watch their presentation. Oh, I don't know if you guys heard this. This is some big news. Yesterday, Twitch TV got $15 million, so they're going to be able to use that money for everything, site improvements, stream improvements. So look forward to that on Twitch TV. But anyway, let's hop right into the game here. Real quickly, I'm going to go over the rosters. If you guys like my new HUD here, it's larger, so hopefully it'll show up better on YouTube. For Czech, we have Kermit, Stoltis, Weeble, Tagarung, Try, and SMI Chest. For no names necessary, it's Dun, Dante, Blackie Monster, RR, Powa, and Umph. And you'll notice that Powa and Dun, I believe, are no longer playing on the team, but this is a good chance to just watch Czech Chess Club sort of play, against a top team. Czech is really trying to secure their land spot, and for Triple N, they also want to secure their spot with their newest pickups. So it'll be interesting to watch them in the future. Okay, let's go. I really want to watch this demo from Chess Club's perspective and try and see what they do in order to win on Granary. So I'm mostly going to focus on them. So we'll see that Kermit comes up the top with his 2 scouts. I'm going to slow down mid here. You'll notice that the combo comes out the catwalk as well, and they're going to sort of play that left crate. One soldier snuck into their garage, and they're really going to try and focus down the soldier that's stuck behind them. Missing the air shot. They better get that soldier down fast. Tagarung takes out Blackie Monster and a huge pick there out of the garage. And looking really good for Chess Club right here with 3 early picks. And now the remaining fragging classes are just going to try their best in order to sack for Stoltis. Not looking good. He surfs away. Great surf by Stoltis. And just some cleanup right here. One of the deciding factors, really, was that you notice both teams sort of sent their roamer out against the other team, and it's sort of this race to finish off the roamer, or, if you're the medic or if you're some of the other players, your job is to sort of dodge that roamer as long as possible. So, Chess Club was able to dodge their roamer while Tag took out Blackie Monster, so huge play, and then the Uber rolling in the last is pretty standard. Should be a free easy cap on last. So a quick first round for Chess Club against no need for names. I might have said no names necessary earlier. That's my fault. As you guys know, I'm still sort of warming back into the whole TF2 scene, trying to get a sense of what's going on at Invite. And Chess Club is the number 3 team right now, so we're familiar with the top 2 teams, of course. Slow down mid again. Same thing. Catwalk. Focusing, and notice the soldier always goes down deep here to sort of cut them off and keep them sequestered in that corner by the health pack. Soldier jumping in on the high ground. This is really key here. This will deny them the ability to sit on their health pack. Meanwhile, the combo is up top here, pressuring the same area. Sulta's doing a great job of surfing away from the soldier here. And now they just need to finish off these two scouts. Kermit goes down, unfortunately. But should be easy cleanup again. So really successful strategy. You know, they're just coming down this left side here, and then sort of one soldier takes the high ground while the demo and medic up top are putting pressure on the enemy combo. And they're really using that height advantage very well. Right now, Stultus has a 100% Uber advantage over Blocky Monster, who's just spawning right now. So we should see the same thing we saw last round, which is just really quickly rolling into last. Early medic pick from Chess Club wasn't really necessary, but it's sort of going to work out anyways. You gotta remember, when you're pushing into last and you have full advantage like that, you really want to focus on a couple things. One, try and get as late of a pop as possible. So if you know the defending team has no Uber, their medic just spawns, and he's trying his best to stay away from your Uber. So your job is to try and get in as deep as possible with your Uber and try and force as late as possible. So a really easy way to do that is to just slow push it. You know that they have to play keep away until that force happens. They want to force, but they can't lose any numbers doing it. So if you just take as many numbers as you can and sort of just steamroll through nice and slow, and then at some point they'll have to send players at you, and that's when you pop. And then as soon as you pop, go mad aggressive and start taking people out as quickly as you can. The other thing is, you don't really need to go for the enemy medic early. You'll see that they went for Blocky Monster really early on, but you gotta remember that Blocky Monster just spawned, and there's no way. It takes 40 seconds to get an Uber, so he's not gonna get the Uber in time. So really, it's more important to focus on fragging classes, maybe the Demoman, or like key targets, or maybe the heavy if they have one. So really just focus on fragging classes. Once you take those fragging classes out, the medic is helpless, he has no Uber, and I feel that's a more effective way to go. But great job by Chess Club here, taking 2 quick rounds. I'm gonna watch, okay, we're gonna keep watching this perspective actually. So you just saw they had 2 great mids, so they might look to repeat their success by going catwalk again. Here comes Kermit up top, scouts up top again, slow it down a little bit. And combo, once again, 3rd time in a row, combos up top. Whenever you see a team winning mids, they might repeat their strategy over and over until it stops working. See how they have that soldier again on the top crate over there? Kermit takes out RR, and they're looking really good because Umph is down, and Chess Club... Oh, Chess Club is playing tight together in this corner here, though, and they're 1 player down. Ooh, Power takes out Weevil, so really it's just Stultus and Kermit trying to back their way out. Ooh. Alright, let's pause right there. So you may ask yourself, why did Chess Club lose mid when they took out Umph really early, took out the enemy Demoman super early, and it looked like things were going in their favor. What ultimately happened was a lack of focus fire. So you'll see that they tried to do the same thing they did in the last mid, which was stick your roamer on their crates and sort of rain down on the health pack. And that's effective, but there's sort of a progression to middle. You need to take out your half of the field and then progress to their side. If you split up and have half of your team on their side and half of your team on your side, suddenly your focus fire is not as powerful as theirs. And then they will just simply pick off the lone players and then come in and clean up the rest with their number advantage, and that's exactly what happened right there. So when you're focusing as a team, you really want to just take out whatever's threatening this area as fast as possible. Take out that roamer super quickly and then push across as a team. And whichever team can get their medic onto the point pushing onto their side, that's the team that's going to have the advantage. That's the team that's going to win. Oops, still in slow mode here. So now, no need for names. Taking 2nd point quickly, and same. It's the role reversal of last time, which is Triple N has Uber, Chess Club has no Uber, trying to come in and as far as possible without popping. And then you know you have advantage, so feel free to flash. And Black King Monster's doing a great job of flashing the scouts in, getting right up against the doors, allowing the scouts. Ideally, the cap blast. Yeah, here we go. Good frags by Triple N. And you'll see that, like, these invite teams, they're well polished. You know, when you come into last point with your full Uber advantage, there's no way they're gonna mess that up. Alright, so if you're a Chess Club, you just lost the last middle, so you may look to change your strategy because Triple N has found a way to counter. So, aha, yes, Kermit is coming out the left side this time. And is coming up the top, takes huge sticky damage early on from Kermit. Great play there. Has to drop down to his or pull back to his combo on the catwalk. This is a complete role reversal actually, right? From the last time we saw it. Instead of Triple N being on the bottom and Chess Club being up top, now it's Chess Club on the bottom and Triple N on top. What's really interesting to note is the positioning here. You notice how all 6 of these players are looking to intercept this soldier. This scout is looking to hold this scout off, but other than that, you have a ton of players looking up at this soldier, ready to take him out. Meanwhile, from this team, the only person in an aggressive, in a position to take someone else out, are these 2 players. This soldier has a chance to bomb and kill somebody, and then this scout has a chance to win the one-on-one possibly, right? But this is sort of looking like a 1-on-4, so you really don't want that. You want all of your team moving across early at the same time. And because Kermit did so much damage, the rest of the team is pulling back because they're lit. They can't really join the battle. So I'm kind of questioning this decision to jump so early, but he may feel like he's forced to. So he seems to be out of the picture actually, completely. The Roman seems to be out of the picture. And blue team looking to push across the point. SMI Chess and Kermit getting key picks there, but trading, tag run and try. Ump's doing a great job holding the high ground on the crates, keeping that threat on the point. Weeble takes out Powa. Weeble kind of gets a little too aggressive there, going for the combo, and Stultus dies. So Ump's coming up huge here actually, taking out Stultus, and Kermit takes out At this point, you know, it's basically over. Kermit dies to the combo. So I think a really key part about that middle fight, and so it looked really good for Chess Club. You know, they're all bunched up together trying to take out stragglers early, but the roamer for Triple N, RR for Triple N, he didn't bomb straight into them and died, straight into Chess Club and died. Instead, he turned himself and escaped. So basically, now so many heads were turned towards RR. You know, they're not ready to address the threat, which is coming up the top over the crates, putting damage onto them. So that actually ended up being a really good play by RR. Triple N pushing through the garage here. Meanwhile, if you're Chess Club, you're trying to get an early force. You have no Uber at all. So you want to hold up to the chokes, find out exactly where their combo's coming from, and address the situation, and address their combo. So if their combo's coming at the left, you need to put your combo trying to get that early force. And there they get the early force, and this is a great play by Chess Club. Look, their medic is all the way out, back at last. No chance of dying. Oh wow. Great frags here. Chess Club cleaning up. Oh gosh. SMI Chess taking out RR. That was really great. what happens there is on the second point, because Triple N had a bad Uber, they're looking to chase down Stultus and try and see what picks they can get in addition, because they have the bad Uber, just try and recover and cut their losses. Sorry, not cut their losses. They should try and cut their losses. When you have a bad Uber like that, you shouldn't try and just chase in, because now you have half of your team capping the point and the other half of the team is chasing the medic. And when the Uber comes off, now it's 6-on-3 or 6-on-4, Chess Club's favor. And as you see here, they just were able to pick all these players off in this area, while 2 players were capping the point. So now this gives Stultus a huge advantage here. And they should be able to recap second point easily. But from Chess Club, perfect. Like they couldn't have played that any better. An early force on this left door with Stultus all the way back at last. Great job. If you're Chess Club right here, see how Stultus is coming on the right side here? They want to get a favorable Uber right up close to the enemy team, so they're pushing through the garage on the mid. They want to use the Uber on middle point. Here they come. Triple N's combos all the way back, and RR I think tries to go for a force. Doesn't quite get it. Here comes Chess Club with 2 picks and a decent Uber. The reason this Uber is decent is because they didn't have to use until this point right here. Because what Triple N's trying to do is force an Uber on middle point. But they just weren't able to get it. RR just jumps huge, doesn't get it. Chess Club pushing forward with their combo, trying to use, and finally when this Uber comes over here, now they've forced Blackie Monster to use his Uber, and that Uber will not be able to stop the middle point. So that was really key right there. Now all they're trying to do is trying to get their combo alive and then a reset, and now they have middle point, which is a really great situation for them. So Stultus running out as best he can, gets juggled up though, and dies. It's still looking okay for Chess Club right here since they have control of the middle point. Tagarung doing the little back cap to pull and Triple N back away from middle point. I don't know if that play was worth it though. And here comes Triple N through the right side. They know they have heal advantage. Chess Club has no heals at all. So if you're Chess Club in this situation, what you're trying to do is slow them down as much as you can. You know you don't stand a chance. You have no heals and they have all the heals. So your job is to just try and spam the chokes and slow them down. They don't have an Uber, so just slow them down as best you can, but you're going to have to give up middle since you have no medic.
Alert. The control point is being captured.
So Chess Club, really great Uber on the mid, but if they would have gotten Stultus out alive, it would have been perfect. But they couldn't get him out, and they lose middle point again. So now Blackie Monster has a 60% advantage, and they're looking to push fast before Chess Club can get their Uber. So here comes the Uber for Triple N. Oh, Stultus goes down, and a huge blunder right there. And I've mentioned this before, but I'll say it again. When you know that the other team has a 40, 50, 60% advantage, don't risk putting your medic so close. I mean, you want to keep them close. You want to keep your combos somewhat close to try and force the Uber as early as possible, but there's a fine line between forcing an Uber early and losing your medic. So if you're Chess Club right there, you really wanted to do a better job of keeping your medic back in the yard rather than up front, and that way he can get out safely.
The control point is being contested.
And Triple N used all that momentum to wipe Chess Club, and now they're going to take this round.
Time has been added.
Oh, they should take this round at least. Oh, Blackie Monster goes down to a Kermit bomb. That's insane. Great play by Kermit. Coming up huge, and Stultus now has a huge Uber advantage, 40+% on last. So Chess Club may elect to do the conservative play, which is to hold, or the aggressive play, which is to move forward. They're choosing to move forward here and start capping second point. And now they still have a 50% advantage here. So coming out the right side lunchbox. And this is a really wise play because they're playing away from the trap. They know that ump is on the left yard, and so the trap is going to be on that left door. So if they can play away from it, they might get a better Uber. Triple N is backed all the way out to middle point, so you should see Chess Club look to take up the space here by the garage. Perfect. Now they just got Uber, so they're going to try and use it on middle here. Triple N not going to look to wrap. A really superb play by Triple N. Look at this. They force the Uber right at the door, and they're nowhere to be found here. All of the players have huge health, and they're playing all the way out with a 70% Uber. They have a chance to stop middle point now. Or even if they don't stop middle point, they can just come back in with their own Uber. So, really great job of leapfrogging from Triple N. Chess Club with a not good Uber. So now they know that Blackie Monster is going to get his Uber soon. They need to stack the point, cap it, and then try and play up at the chokes. Try and get that force. But this time, don't lose Stultus. And they spam. They get the early force. Really great job here. Backing all the way out is Chess Club. Perfectly executed right there. They got the force, and they got out. This is about as good as they could have done it right there. So now they have the 50% advantage. So this is what you call leapfrogging, which is this sort of, you know, going back and forth, and whoever's got Uber, now it's their turn to push, and whoever doesn't Uber, you know, they're trying to get out. And leapfrogging can go on forever, but at the lower levels of TF2, it's not a big concern because eventually someone will mess up. At the higher levels, someone will still mess up, but at least, you know, you're kind of, you have the execution, you have the ability to sort of execute that leapfrog pretty well. Once again, just make sure when you force the Uber, get your medic out clean, and that's what we're seeing from both teams right here. Eventually someone's going to crack though and have a bad Uber, or the other team is going to try and do a wrap or something crazy. We'll see, or maybe one of the teams will lose a player who gets caught out, and that will change the tide. I guess not. So Chess Club choosing to just chill it right now, and that's because Blackie Monster is so close to Uber right now. So it's a full reset, and this is not a bad decision by Chess Club. It's the conservative decision. The aggressive one would be to repush mid. The conservative one would be to hold yard. This is what you call a Mexican standoff, which is just chilling out. Eventually Triple N has to push since they're down around. Okay, here comes the combo on the left side here. Early force. Stultus with a great Uber. I wanna point out something right here. You notice how Stultus didn't back all the way out till second point? The reason is because you do not need to milk your Uber more than 3 seconds. So anything past 3 seconds is overkill, and it's nice to milk your Uber more than 3 seconds, but you really don't need to. What's more effective is to keep your medic as close as you can to their medic, so that way when you have to pop the Uber, you're right next to the medic, and you have 3 seconds to kill theirs. 3 seconds of invulnerability to kill their medic. So, as you see right here, a really good Uber by Chess Club. They're coming in, trying to chase down Blackie Monster. They may get him? No, they're not going to get him at all. So Blackie gets out clean. Kermit here getting 2 kills, actually gets Blackie Monster. That's huge. And now 4 players go down for Triple N. And once again, it goes back to that milking the Uber, but also keeping good positioning.
Alert. The control point is being contested. Time has been added.
So Chess Club captures middle point. looking to push yard here with their 60% advantage. Now what I'd look for them to do is what we saw from yesterday's episode, which is instead of pushing the right yard and getting forced by these traps here, sneak your combo. See how this door is not being guarded at all? They can sneak their combo in the left yard and force the Uber instead. Exactly what they're doing right here. Force the Uber instead in lunchbox. So now since they got in the left yard, the other team's combo is forced to back out here. They still have 20% to work with to get this Uber off before Triple N gets theirs. Not looking good here. Black is going to get his Uber in time. Oh, let's slow it down right here. Kermit, the blue team's Demoman, goes down really early. This is going to be a bad Uber for Chess Club. So they force the Uber in last point, and they really need to get their combo out. Don't worry at all about forcing their medic. Oh, actually they were able to use the last remaining part of their Uber to force the medic. Great play there. But Soltis needs to get out before this Ubered soldier gets him, or the Ubered scout. You're gonna lose huge numbers on this because Kermit goes down early. You know, your pocket sacrifices himself in order to get your medic out. And considering what just happened, this was still pretty clean. What I would have liked to see from Chess Club is reacting a little sooner. You knew you had the 60% advantage. Quickly go through the garage into left yard and you know, use that Uber advantage on second point. But because they took so long to do it, then they had to play this little footsie game where they're going into last point and all this other stuff. Kermit goes down. It just starts to get sloppy. So if you're gonna do it, do it. But if you're gonna take your time making that decision, just slow it down and just, you know, move back to right yard and do a standard push or something like that. Anyway, great job from Chess Club getting their medic out. Now their main objective right here is to slow down Triple N for about 6 seconds while they get their respawns back to mid. Triple N, meanwhile, trying to capitalize on this power play right here. Triple N coming in, and yeah, with Chess Club being 2 players down, they have no chance to stop the point. And this is really back and forth. This fight over the middle point is gone back and forth 2 or 3 times now. It's a really even match between these two teams. Even Ubers exactly for both teams. So we're just looking for a reset again. No! What is going on here? Chess Club, Ubers in to Triple N right here. Okay, let's evaluate this. Why would you want to Uber in as the defensive team? Are you talking to me?
No, he's YOLOing it. It's a prime example of senior year right here. That's what I'm talking about. What's up?
What's up?
What's up? Sorry, I didn't mean to go on.
That's cool.
We're just having
I just know when you're talking about me that...
Well, I was saying it pretty loud.
I know, you're like yelling it. So how many else? These are open ear, you know that.
I expect you to hear me.
But I'm trying to do my...
I know, I didn't need for you to react.
You're killing me, man. You're killing me. Anyways.
Anyway.
I said anyway first. Alright.
Senior year, dog.
Yeah, it is senior year. Senior year is sick. Okay, back to the story right here. Just a refresher here. Triple N is pushing through garage on the offensive, kind of, but not really. Mexican standoff. Chess Club takes tries and Stultus directly into garage and Ubers into the garage. Now, why would you want to do that? It's even Ubers. You have nothing really to gain, but then again you do. So you're kind of turning it upside down. You're Ubering into them, and because you're only Ubering try, your Uber is guaranteed to last 8 seconds, right? Now, if you can make them flash a couple times, now you have a favorable Uber. So you're kind of just, it's a bit of a play to just sort of mess with the other team, but if you can get them to split, you might catch someone off guard and might get a pick, and then you can sort of push your players into mid and try and get a cap that way. It's kind of a risky play. I would not suggest that everyone try and do it, but it's still a viable play here, depending on the situation. They did catch Blackie a little bit off guard. He's got 40 health right now. So could try and pull something out of his ass and, you know, kill the medic. A number of things could happen, but they did get Blackie to flash a couple times. And now, see, even though Chess Club Ubered first, they still have 40% left on their timer, while Blackie only has 25. So you gotta remember, each time you flash someone, you're gonna lose about a second of your Uber out of your 8 seconds. If you only Uber one person, it's 8 seconds. If you flash your Uber, you're gonna lose about a second. So flashing 2 people is costly, extremely costly. So anyway, tries realizing here that he... Oh, is he gonna go for it? He's going for it. He's going for it in here. Kermit picks Powa. Try takes out Blackie Monster. Huge plays right here. Chess Club coming in the middle. Stultus goes down though. This is not looking good after all. Fully buffed Triple N players. Oh, what? Tagarung comes up big. 3K right there. Kermit takes out Dunn.
Control point is being contested.
Oh my gosh, there was just way too many things going on there to comprehend, but it basically turned into a clusterfuck, and somehow Chess Club came out the winner. It was a gamble, but it really did pay off right there. Kermit's now fighting the one-on-one against Powa. Now, if you're Chess Club in this situation, it was totally worth it to lose Tagarung on middle point in order to get the cap. So just keep in mind, you do want to just try and get the middle cap. Getting that middle cap is so crucial, especially when neither team has Uber. Sorry to reload my HUD there to show that blue team did cap it. Someone's Steam messaging me, it better be important. Look at this. Look at this. What is this? I better go off Steam. I always forget to go offline on Steam, and kills me. Alright, I apologize for the interruption. Continuing on. Chess Club here with a 30% advantage. So, Chess Club, right here, they're just trying to stall for another 5 seconds and they'll have Uber. So, they need to block the point or something. They needed to make up their mind is really what they needed to do there. And because of the indecisiveness of, oh, we have Uber or we don't have Uber. Oh, now they have a really unfortunate Uber pop deep into garage here. Blackie's just going to run away. He's 10 seconds away from Uber. And as we see here, it's not going to look good for Chess Club. At a certain point, you need to cut your losses and say, hey, this is a shitty Uber. Like, right here. You can't afford to lose 3 players trying to get a force. You know it was a crappy Uber out in the middle of the garage. You should have just, you know, cut your losses and just hold yard and get a force that way. One of the things that really hurts new teams or teams with new rosters is this sort of indecisiveness, right? You know, there's gonna be moments where you're cutting it close and you think, oh man, like I'm so close to Uber, if I can just get it, I can block the point. But really need to evaluate what's going on here. If the other team's already into middle and you're 10 seconds away from Uber, you're not really gonna stand a chance of, you know, getting the Uber in time to block the point. So, you know, a lot of this comes through practice and, okay, well, if you're in this situation a number of times, you'll know what to do. But, you know, really look at the situation here and go, well, we realistically did not stand a chance of blocking the point. We should have just gotten out with our Uber and left it as is. I can understand the situation. I mean, both teams have been fighting over this middle point for what seems like forever. But, you know, don't get desperate because that'll cost you here. And as we see, Triple N is rolling into second point with their full Uber advantage. If you're Chess Club in the situation, all you're trying to do now is just stall as long as you can. You have no chance of stopping the second point. You're just going to try and get a force and then get to last. A key point that I want to make right here is that in this situation where Triple N has full Uber advantage, you have to force on second point. You don't have a choice. Okay? And this is a mistake that a lot of teams will make on CP maps. Okay? If you don't have Uber and the other team has Uber pushing your second point, you have to force them on second point no matter what. You can't afford to let the other team slow push you out of second point and then use their Uber on last point, because then you instantly lose. It'll be Uber versus non-Uber on last point. And we saw in the first 3 rounds what happened when that happens. So even if you lose 2 players, you have to force on second point. The better you can do, the better job you can do of spamming them out or putting traps and stuff like that, you'll stand a better chance. But either way, you have to force on second point here. You don't have a choice. So here, Chess Club forces the second point, and now they just get out to last.
point is being captured.
Good job by Soltis getting out alive here. Kermit picks off the overextending Dun. And now with their 70% advantage and a one-man pick, they should probably push out here. This is the best chance of pushing out. So here they go. And in this situation, you just kind of want to corner cap it, right? Just corner cap it and try not to use your Uber, which they're doing. Pushing out a last. Really great job by Chess Club here of not using their Uber. Triple N is forced to pull back to middle point. Right. Oops, sorry.
The control point is being contested.
Right here. Ooh. A decent Uber, I guess. They needed one more pick in order to make that happen, though. And now, Blackie Monster could consider pushing middle point with this Uber. You should probably do it. And here comes Blackie Monster's team out the right side here. Oh. I really kind of disagree with this play here. They came deep around and then started capping the point, but that gives Chess Club the opportunity to go behind and do a wrap. So, I can disagree with the play all day long, but ultimately they're an invite. As you can see here, Chess Club pulled all the way back to their second point, which is a conservative decision. But once again, Chess Club gave up middle point for essentially free, right? They gave up all the positioning and they did not force Blackie Monster at all.
Our control point is being captured.
They sacrificed Tiger Run and SMI Chess to try and get a force, which doesn't work. Sacking players to get forces usually doesn't result in a positive result most of the time.
Time has been
Not most, I won't even say most of the time, just there are times when it's appropriate to sack a player to get a force, but most of the time, not even most of the time, just I would strongly advise not to. A great pop here by Stoltis, which will help them to block the point here. Stoltis goes down to Dun. Gosh. And now Chess Club is pushing middle point with their numbers here. But it looks like Triple N should be able to defend it with their combo on the right side here. Stoltis is just respawning right now, so he has no chance to get to middle point in time. He actually has a 50% disadvantage right here. So Triple N, since they're so close to Uber, they're 5 seconds away from Uber right now. They want to time their Uber to get in here and pop right away. Chess Club is trying to stall out. They have no real chance of stopping second point. Same situation that we saw before. You have to force on second point. And Chess Club, once again, doing a great job of forcing early and getting out with no, not minimal losses. Triple N Ubers both their scouts in, and that's what really gets the pick. Or scout and a soldier, sorry.
Time has been added. Alert! The final control point is being contested.
Oof. This corner right here is pretty brutal, right? We're seeing this over and over again. On the one hand, it's a really standard push, right? You know the team's going to come out the left yard, try and get the force on the garage door. Garage doors are really good for trying to get forces because they can't really see what's on the other side without getting right next to the door. So that's good on the one hand. Soltis is playing too close to that door, though. I'm not sure if he just wasn't aware of how close the enemy combo was, but he should be playing farther back. We saw him earlier on in this match doing really good forces and getting out. Like, he's all the way at last when they get that force. That's perfect. If you're playing on second point as a medic, you're really starting to gamble there. So I would be careful about that. So now it's 2-2, and this is sort of the tiebreaker going into the first and going into the second half. So really need to make sure that this is a crucial round for both teams. slow down the mid fight here. Chess Club is going back to their original strategy, which in the first 2 rounds, which is to go catwalk. And then this is exactly what happened in the first 2 rounds, actually. Chess Club goes top, Triple N goes bottom, and it's looking really good for Chess Club right here as the opener. You know, they're taking the high ground, pushing across the point. Weeble gets a great pick on Blackie Monster here, in exchange for Tiger and Weeble though. All the fragging classes are coming in for Triple N here, taking out Stultus. Oof. And now it's a 2-on-2 DM fight. See who's gonna win. Kermit takes out power, but I don't think it's gonna be enough here. Dante takes him out. So you gotta ask yourself the question of what's the difference between this round and the first 2 rounds? You know, the first 2 rounds, it looked exactly the same, right? Coming out the catwalk, the other team's going lower, and you're sort of pushing across and doing good damage. It should set you up for success, right? Well, the problem that's happening, and even though Weeble got a great pick on Blackie Monster early on, is that you're not pushing the Demoman across. If you go back and rewatch this, you'll notice that Kermit was still sitting on the catwalk as Stultus is pushing across the crates. And a key part of any 5CP map is, you know, when you're on this sort of mirror side like this, where, for example, if both teams come out of house on Badlands, whichever team can push their Demoman across the point is going to win. It's sort of like snake water. You know, if once you get to middle, you heal your soldiers up, the soldiers jump, you push your scouts and your Demoman across the point, and the team that does that better is going to win. Kermit never really got his way across the point. He kind of stays in that corner with the health pack, and then in order for him to do damage, he has to charge stickies instead of just spamming them across the point. So that can be a big difference maker right there. And then ultimately, even though Blackie Monster went down, for Triple N, they were able to just zerg all of their players and create enough pressure on Chess Club in order to make them fold. So I do like this strategy of coming up top, but you need to use this high ground in order to push across. If you're not pushing across like this, you're sort of wasting the potential of coming around catwalk and avoiding the whole ground fight. Even Ubers right here since both medics went down. Triple N is coming into yard here, so Chess Club is gonna try and fight here. Oh, this is a pretty big blunder. Oh, they were able to trade players actually from no, not really. As Tigeron goes down, and now Triple N has a 1-man advantage. The reason I think it was a bit of a mistake to try and hold yard there was because Triple N already had their established presence there. So when you're coming out of the respawns and you're looking to say how much ground you can take, you want to take as much ground as you possibly can. So Chess Club is trying to come out into yard, and if they can take yard, they'll have a better chance to force there and then pull back to second point. Because that's what you want to do as a defensive team. If you use the yard, it's sort of that buffer zone for you to get a force and use more space. But it's a little too aggressive. Triple N had a scout and a demo man in the yard already, and it's hard to stop a demo man once he's already sort of peeking into that zone. You need to try and box them out of the zone. So once they're already through the gate, it's a little too late. You need to just pull back and try and defend on that garage door, perhaps. Whoops. But luckily, Stultus was able to escape as Triple N comes in with their Uber. Great job from Triple N getting an even Uber fight. Weeble goes down, so not looking good for Chess Club here. Oh no, S gets It's a 5-on-5. Chess Club's looking to try to push out here. You may ask yourself, why were they able to push out that time and not the previous time? And was dead. that entire time. So when the Demoman goes down, it's a key player. You can sort of push through, and what's kind of going into TF2 theory here, when, let's say if there were no, what's a better way to put this? Demomen are what stops slow pushes. Okay, so if your team doesn't have Uber, if the other team has a Demoman with a trap up on a choke, you really can't push through it. You can try as best you can to sort of slow push it and shoot stickies, but ultimately if it's even numbers and both teams don't have an Uber, you can't push through a choke with traps on it. And so if you know that the enemy team doesn't have their demo up, you can sort of abuse that and start slow pushing your way out. And each class sort of has its role in that sense. You know, scouts are good at covering flanks, soldiers are good at holding chokes, and sort of being, sort of holding up because they have high health, and Demoman are what stop the slow push. So, with Umph going down, Chess Club is able to push out. Really good decision by them to at least take the yard. Pretty aggressive of them to try and take middle point, but the pocket and the Demoman went down, so they might stand a chance here. Oh, great flashing by Stultus. I really like the way he did his Uber there, just minimal flashing and only using it to prevent damage.
Our control point is being captured.
Oh, Tag gets a little overextended there, but it's okay. Kermit's down though for Chess Club, and I'm wondering why they're pushing forward. Ooh, oh, there's a bit of a gamble there, but they were able to take out Blackie Monster on that play. It was a really quite a strong play right here. Blackie Monster was trapped in this corner, and Stultus and his teammate, I think Try, came around through this way and were able to just sort of corner him off, and then getting Stultus out alive with huge needles onto Power was awesome.
Alert! The control point is being contested. Time has been added.
I really like the way that Stultus is buffing everybody up as they're coming into last here. They have plenty of time before they need to push, since they have such a large advantage. Going in, immediately targeting the heavy, sorry. And see, this is what I was mentioning earlier about good Uber pushing on last. You know, you force, you're gonna get forced, but then go for the key classes, taking out the heavy, taking out the fragging classes, and leaving Blackie Monster alive. Even though he's alive right now, he only has 50% Uber. He doesn't stand a chance of getting Uber in time, so taking out key fragging classes really pays off in your last push. Really great half by Chess Club. That a couple of the rounds there were really back and forth on the mid fight, but it was a really good, well-played round by Chess Club. I think one of their strengths is their Ubers. You know, their offensive Ubers are actually pretty good, and they had that really key play in the garage when they were pushing middle from a defensive end. And their Ubers on try are spot on. What does need some work though was the defensive Ubers, right? And or not the defensive Ubers, the defending against the enemy Uber when you don't have one, and trying to get Stultus out alive. There were a couple errors there where he just wasn't able to get out in time when Triple N Uber to scout in. So keeping that in mind for the future. Otherwise, it's a really good half. They have a really strong mid strategy here. They just need to make sure they're pushing their Demoman across. But you know, with such strong fragging power on their team, they really have a strong lineup that can help them win through DM. That being said, though, you can't discredit Triple N. You know, they have Power, Dante, and some, you know, all these strong players as well. But I really feel like, you know, they Chess Club has a really strong lineup. Doo-doo. Okay. So now Chess Club is the red team. Slow down mid here a little bit. Triple N coming out the right side, and the catwalk again from Chess Club. This time doing a really great job of pushing the Demoman across the point. Scouts, everyone's sort of zerging in at the same time, which is really good. Huge damage going in. And even though Kermit is far out here, he had a buff in order to last a little bit longer. Keeping height advantage with their soldiers. The medic is the back to a scout. But since Blackie Monster's down, any amount of time that Soltis can stay up is great. And that wins them the round. Or wins them the mid-fight at least. And it goes back again to what I was saying. Make sure you're pushing your Demoman across the point. It doesn't matter if he eventually gets taken out over here, but that power, that height advantage of being able to shoot down onto that health pack is huge. Another thing that Chess Club did really well on that mid fight was they all got aggressive at the exact same time. That put a lot of pressure on Triple M. They sort of got swarmed, they got surrounded. Not quite sure what's going on over here with Weevil, but okay. Quick time check over here.
Alert. The control point is being captured.
Weevil coming with some strong DM here, and
Alert.
Chess Club was able to
Control point is
completely
being
wipe
captured.
Triple N right there on off-Uber play.
Time has been
Kermit did a great job coming in and sticking up last early on. And Chess Club needs to just get in here while they have a 2-man advantage, and Ump is down. Stultus is playing it safe and getting the Uber. Now they're going to decide to go with full advantage. This is probably a smart decision. Here they come. Once again, late force. Going for the key fragging classes, the Demoman and the Heavy were both on the same door, which is lucky for them. Going for the medic last, only because he's the only one out here.
The final control point is being contested. Alert. Our last control point is being
Great
captured.
round from Chess Club there. I'm actually going to call it right there, guys. I'm going to try from now on to keep the show to an hour, so as to not bore you guys. Some of these matches and invite can go on for what seems like days, so I hope I got some of the points across. Just to recap, on middle, it doesn't really matter what you do in order to get your combo across the point, but the team that does it better is going to win. And you can't just push across the point and ignore people that are behind you. Make sure you're clearing your side and pushing across to their side. And Chess Club was easily able to do that because they just got on the catwalk on the high ground and just pushed across the top of the crates. So that strategy was working out really well for them on mids. Keep an eye out for really strong Uber play. Like, you want to be using your Uber into large groups of people, like we saw on that granary strategy, on the granary Uber. Even though it was defensive, it worked great just because they Ubered into a large group of people. And when you have bad Ubers, consider not chasing them down. Like I said, you may be tempted when you have a bad Uber to say, oh shit, the only thing we can do is just chase the medic and let's throw as many players as we can over there and see if we can get the force. It's not worth sacking 3 or 4 players to get a force. Even 2 players is not worth it because a 2-man advantage is everything. It doesn't matter who has Uber. So while it may seem like, oh shit, try and chase the medic down and get a force, it might be better off to try and pick off whoever's just happens to be hanging out, or just completely cut your losses and just don't chase it all and just say, hey guys, this is a bad Uber, we'll learn next time. A strong match though for Chess Club. I'm going to pull up the stats here and kind of spoil the game. It ended up being 5-3 in favor of Chess Club. The damage was really close for both teams, but the execution from Chess Club was really what did it. And it it'll ultimately come down to those sort of uber fights and who can um, manage them better. Remember again, we saw those in the middle of this clip. We were watching sort of how like the teams were leapfrogging back and forth with middle point, and when you're doing that, just make sure you're not going for any sort of crazy gambles. It may be frustrating when you're in that sort of situation to sort of say, hey, you know, let's just go for something risky here because I'm sick of leapfrogging. Or when you're in that Mexican standoff and both teams are just staring at each other, you may want to say, hey, we're the defensive team, let's just push into them because I'm bored of sitting here. But the team that plays cleaner is going to win in the end. And if you do make that mistake, the other team's going to capitalize on it and then take your second point. And from there, it's an extremely hard uphill battle to try and get back to middle point. So, yeah. You just make sure you're working on that leapfrogging, just try and keep your play clean. And we saw a few good examples of it, and then it sort of went into this sort of DM battle that was kind of nasty. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching episode 3 today. I know it was a little bit disorganized, but tomorrow my plan is to go over Badlands. I have a few clips picked out, mostly going over mid-fights and how to win mid-fights on Badlands, because I know next week is Badlands. This week I didn't really go over CP Asheville because, 1, I've never seen the map before in my life, and 2, I sort of just got back into this, and sort of it's easier for me to start this series on a map that I'm more familiar with. So, but I hope to cover CP Asheville in the future, and I'm sort of crossing my fingers and hoping that it doesn't appear in LAN finals because I'll be pissed. Because from what I'm hearing, this map is not good. Yeah, for all of you guys watching the stream, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.